bit, and usually Lustig's my guy, so it won't be stupid. I'm going to say Kieran Tierney's going to get a goal as well. 5-1 for the boys. We're going to roll to Astana with a big fucking lead. I think that they had their board talk quote from the Astana manager, and it's going to be up there tomorrow, that they think that they're going to go back to Astana and fucking Azerbaijan and just put us to the sword. It ain't fucking happening. Brendan's going to have the team hyped and ready to score some goals. They don't have their best defender, and we're going to run a little fucking rush out on them. It's going to be an open pitch, man. It's going to be a lot more wide open. We saw with Rosenborg, and there's goals to be had there, and I think we fucking take our chances in front of a packed house at Celtic Park, baby.
I'm excited now.
You should be, brother.
No, I'm excited.
I'll crack another beer for you. Hold on, because the bar never closes here in the 856, baby. The bar never closes here in the 856.
I don't know about you, but I'm hyped after that, man. I'm hyped. It's going to be bouncing. It's going to be absolutely bouncing. I'm telling you. Like, if you think about it, like the Green Brigade back for and all that. It's all coming together, man. It's going to be an excellent game. It really is. Atmosphere is going to be fantastic. And the kickoff.
When the Champions League music kicks
the kickoff.
And you can barely hear the fucking music because the place is going sideways and shit. And then they get the complimentary shot of Rod Stewart showing up for his once or twice a year fucking match. It's going to be off the chain, brother. We are going to roll the Azerbaijan crew.
Yep, we're going to score goals against them. I've got no doubts, man. Sinclair, if he can turn on his form. We didn't put Sinclair on the goals, but I'm going to throw in Sinclair's going to turn on his form tomorrow, man. I mean, come on, man. How can you not? I mean, it's going to be packed. The Green Brigade are going to be jumping. That music's going to be going. The whole parkhead's going to be going absolutely apeshit. I mean, we love the knockout stages of the Champions League. We've seen this before with the last minute winner from Forest. We've seen Scott Brown scoring his goal for us, and when we were playing Beersheva and stuff, it's just like it's going to be good. Can't wait.
I think the Azerbaijanis are not going to know what hit them, baby.
What time is the kickoff, Yahmpy?
Just side noting, hold on a sec. Our boy Chaz was supposed to come on with us this week. He said he had shit coming up at work that he couldn't get on. Tried to make that happen, make that roll an extra night. It wasn't to be. Maybe he gets on next week because he wanted to talk a little bit about Kieran Tierney and everything.
He's been asking for shout-outs. So give him a shout out.
Yeah, well, you got to earn your keep at the bar, baby. We don't sit there and talk for anybody else. You got to hold up your own end of the bargain.
Yeah, that's a segue. That's a segue, Yahmpy. That's a segue. Anyway, keep going.
Yeah, he wanted to talk up Kieran Tierney in a Gareth Bale type role, and he was making some good points and shit. But I wanted him to talk about it, so he can come on next week if he wants to man up and come on the bar, and fucking we'll crack some cold ones for him, and we'll talk a little KT, man, and talk about our results for Astana and everything else in the league. But in the here and now, 5-1, brother. Bring it. You know where it's coming from.
5-1.
We're going to roll him tomorrow,
6
man.
goals fella. Yep.
Where are your plans for the match? Where are you going to watch it?
Fucking no idea, mate. Probably on my phone as I'm fucking driving the kids to school or something like that, man.
I got some green spray paint here, baby.
Hold on,
maybe I'll just graffiti some shit up, go into Philly, do a little Celtic graffiti.
What are you going to spray that, man? You get arrested and then you won't be able to watch the game. You'll be like phoning your missus from the fucking jail. But like, can you come and get me out? Because I got drunk and I was fucking running around with green.
I tied a load
some
on him. I was
drunk 45-year-old fucking Scottish football fan in Jersey running about with green paint, pished.
You're not gonna believe it.
Oh,
we got a 40-something-year-old man with green paint all over him, and he smells like fucking beer right now. So someone bail him out. We gotta get him out of here.
Right, so it's at 7.
We got enough shit going on with protesters getting arrested and everything else. What the fuck is this lunatic doing? Get him out of here.
Exactly, man. So the kickoff. I'm trying to talk about the kickoff time. I'm trying. I need you because I've got serious issues with some of these evening games. It's a terrible time for me. So 7:45 kickoff, 6:45 in the morning for me. Which, yeah. So I'll be watching that. I'll be watching that on the computer probably. Mm-hmm.
It's hard. It's hard, but it's fair, baby. It's hard. It's hard.
My computer's got. I've got a massive.
I get up at 7 a.m.
I've got a massive computer screen, but it's huge. Well, it's not huge, but it's big for a PC screen, so that's fine, man. It's cool. It's good. It's good. It's going to be good, man. I'm used
I'm
to it.
debating whether to go into Philly or not, man. It's because 245 is like, I got almost a 70-inch TV here, dude. And I do want to hang out. I want to talk to some of the boys. I always go and love meet the CSE guys. Yeah. Both at Fido.
Right.
In Center City. And the Plowboys over at on 2nd Street was a second front. It's like towards Front Street. Like fucking like right near Market. It's cool. Good dudes. A lot of fun. Love hanging with them guys. Yep. Haven't seen them in a little bit because I got all this shit at home, man. It's like going into the city at 2:45 on a Wednesday. By the time the match is done, you're not going to sit there and drink fucking seltzer water either. Let's not kid ourselves. Yeah. We're not drinking fucking tea. We're not having a social, an afternoon fucking scone and all this shit. You're sitting there, you're going to be tanking down some beers, got some Guinnesses in you, some shots of whiskey. And who the fuck wants to go home after that? And then you got to drive home through traffic? I'm not going to drive home shitty. I don't do that. That's not how I roll. So I'm going to sit the fuck home and have beers and smoke cigars and watch Celtic kick some fucking ass.
There you go, man. It's fucking job done, mate.
I want to go to Philly and chat them boys up and stuff. So I'm kind of vexed, man. I'm vexed.
Shout out to the NZCSC guys. If you're in New Zealand, you're in Auckland, hit them up and go and watch the game because they're a good bunch of guys. And it will be early, but there you go. If you've not got any, if you can dodge work for the morning, it's going to be the game of the season. So shout out to them.
Hey, if Celtic means something to you, you'll make the time. That's all I got to say about that. And you got to call out from work, do what you got to do. Take care of your business, you know?
Yeah, that's it, man. That's it.
We're not playing fucking St. Johnston tomorrow. This is going to be the fucking big deal. So you got to get stuck in.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Absolutely.
5-1, baby. 5-1. There you go. It's going to be a great fucking afternoon.
That's a great buzz, man. Isn't it? That's a great buzz. It doesn't get better than that sort of, that sort of occasion. It's a fantastic time to be a Celtic supporter and just the big European. It's a big European night. Hey, listen, shout out for our next idea that we've got for our podcast. We had a segue, but we went badly fucking sideways.
Hey, look, man, it's my first time handling the jet controls, dude. If I put the plane into the mountain, don't get too fucking angry, all right?
That's fine. We can't afford to buy two fucking luxury jets, but that's fine. If you crash the first one, then we'll just have to fucking go on foot from here on.
Like fucking Richard Branson, I could just get another one, right?
That's it, mate. That's it. So as we said a couple of weeks ago, we had some ideas for the podcast, and we've talked about one of our followers who got in touch, and we've been talking about trying to do something a little bit different on the podcast. So what we want is to invite Celtic supporters onto the podcast. Now, you can be from anywhere. You can be, we don't care what part of the world you're from. We don't really care, what time zone you're in. We'll try and accommodate it. But we'd like to hear your voice, mainly because this podcast is a Celtic fan podcast. We know, bottom line is, we don't consider ourselves to be any better than anybody else. We're just a couple of Celtic fans making a podcast, talking shit and talking about Celtic, and we want you guys to join in. So we're opening it out now. We talked about a live phone in, but we're putting that on hold. We might do that in the future, but at the moment the live phone-ins are just a little bit trickier to do. There's kind of a few reasons for that. Mainly Johnny Clifford paid to that idea last week. He was our fucking canary.
We got the Johnny Clifford.
He was our canary. He was our canary, and he was our canary in the mine. And let's just say the canary fucking died instantly.
let's just say I was.
The canary fucking exploded. If you listen to last week's episode, you will hear spontaneous giggling that doesn't end for no apparent reason. The reason is I had to edit the fuck out of it, because if we'd aired that podcast as it was, we may not have been here. So live phone-ins are fraught with peril, but it's not one rule now, because I actually would like to do one, but
I have not figured out the mute button yet.
But we do want to get people involved in the podcast, and I really want that. I really want to hear from Celtic supporters, so we'll put it into our followers. Get in touch with us. You can message us on Twitter, you can email us at armchairultras@gmail.com. You can get in touch with us on the Twitter page, it's pod@armchairultras. You can get in touch with Yahmpy at Yahmpy, that's YAHMPY, and you can get in touch with me. My Twitter handle is at Weegan, that's WEEGIAN, at Weegan, that's UNMCF at Weegan. You can get in touch with us that way. And if you want to come on, we'll have you on, and you can come on
and
for.
Understand, but just to understand the setup right now until we transition to that live setup that we're going to be doing. This is, we contact you, well, you contact us, and then we'll do the setup like this. It's pre-recorded stuff. That way, if we get some jerk-offs on and people want to act up and be fucking just full-on stupid, then it is what it is, and we can always clip that shit out so we get a better handle on it. We're not flying without a safety net yet. We're not going to put our show up at risk just because somebody might want to be a full-on asshole. And I'm not saying that, like, you can have a good time, get drunk, get stoned, do whatever the fuck makes you happy. Just be ready to love Celtic and fucking bring it, man, because that's what it's really all about. Yeah. You want to talk, you want to go all over the place with dumb shit, like whatever, man. We'll figure it out, and we can edit that stuff. We have the controls, and there'll be a point where we're flying without the net. But right now, you contact us. We do a show. We'll have you guys on, and we'll talk Celtic, baby. We'll drink beers, and fucking the bar will be open.
Yeah, and all points are on the table, man. There's nothing off the table for us. There's nothing we consider, it's like anything, taboo, but, whatever. You talk about what you want to talk about, but
we're not going to have you blasting other pods. We're not going to have you getting real, just personal, fucking, ripping other Tims and stuff. That shit ain't happening. Nah. We're keeping it right, man. It's about people that love the club. Want to fucking party, just like you at the bar. You're not going to sit there and just start ripping on people and shit. And it's not what we're about, man. We're about Celtic. We're about fucking drinking and having a good time, having great shows, man, because that's what it's about.
That's it, man. So get in touch with us, guys, if you want to get on the podcast. Bottom line, and if it goes well, it could be a regular thing every now and again. It's open to everybody. Don't be a pussy. Don't get stage fright, man. Just come on, do it, and let's talk, man. Yep. You don't want to do it? I'm going to be going off to remotes and stuff. I'm going to be doing my own little deal with that as well. Just adding up that content. I got places to go and people to talk to. Guys I know on the East Coast that love Celtic. And I'm going to be chatting them all up too, and they're just going to be add-ons for the show. So we're taking this thing off, but right now we still got the training wheels on because we only had, this is our third show. And after that... But it's not actually. It's like a number.
Third under this format, man. Third under this format. I get what you're saying, but it's like, it's just you and me now.
We're old pros, man. We're old pros. Do you know what I mean? Old pros.
Yeah, we've been doing this shit. Well, God, look how long fucking I've been doing that. But I understand where people come from, where they used to be like, well, I don't know if I want to go on, be live. I mean, it took me months. I mean, I knew about Beyond the Waves when that first started, and I got so apeshit crazy over that Barcelona match with fucking Tony Watt and all that. I was like, I gotta talk to these guys, or I'm gonna lose my mind. So that's
why I started the podcast. The same reason, And then this is what we want to hear from people who are like, I've got to talk about it, because that's one of the reasons I started a podcast. I had stuff I wanted to say, and no one else was sharing those opinions, and that's why I got in touch with Yahmpy, because I was like, well, here's a guy who's got, he's going to say it. If there's anybody who speaks his mind, is Yahmpy, and that's why I got in touch with him initially, just as a guest, as a one-off, and then it became a regular thing. So you don't know where it's going to lead. Come on and tell us what you think. It could be anything. You can talk about transfers, you can talk about players, you can talk about the boards, you can talk about the history of the club, whatever you want to talk about. Good. Yep. So, okay, so that's it. It's open to everybody. Get in touch with us and tell us.
Ice, baby. The bar's open. We want to talk some Celtic.
Tell us no less than 300 words why you love our podcast and who is your favourite.
This ain't a God-loving essay, man. Jesus.
You can win a signed T-shirt. You can win a signed T-shirt and a pair of Armchair Ultras leg warmers.
I'll send you a couple of empties. They can be fucking redeemed. They're like recyclable and shit.
Yeah, mate. That's an environmentally friendly podcast here in New Zealand. What else was I going to say? Yeah, we've got some artwork coming up for the pod as well. We've got I've got a guy who's designing a logo for us out here, and so that's going to be going up soon. We've got a few other people coming on the podcast in the next few weeks. As Yahmpy has said, he's going to go off and do something a little bit different. That's his thing on the side. Also, I'd like to do a follow-up after the Astana match, so we'll do a bit of a post-match analysis if we